Hello, all you beautiful ladies and classy gentlemen out there. This is your last call for insight. Sit down and discuss current topics on news. Kim Kardashian addressed accusations that she promotes unrealistic beauty standards months after receiving intense backlash for claiming that her body is attained by simply working out.
Bullshit.
Now, I don't know anything about Kim Kardashian, but in regards to her personality, she doesn't seem like the type that would be a gym rat, but that's just me.
Son of a...
Before we get started though, I think it's important that all my subscribers and other listeners out there grab your favorite beverage of choice, whether warm or cold, have a seat as we discuss Kim Kardashian, her most recent fan backlash. Kim Kardashian was recently on the cover of Vogue magazine. For those gamers out there, this looks almost like a Destiny-inspired / medieval armor-inspired clothing piece. And I'm not trying to put down the designer for this. It seems like for a lot of clothing designers, designs can really be far out there when it comes to doing the walkway or cover photos or anything. So this is another one of those bold designs, but to be completely honest with you, when I look at this, it kind of inspires me to turn on my PlayStation and play some games. Now, as far as today's topic, are big influencers responsible for setting the standard of beauty? That is one problem Kim Kardashian is trying to solve. Is it okay to lie about plastic surgery? If you are a model or a high influencer, a large influencer, is your privacy your own? Or if you benefit from a following, should you be honest? Do you owe your followers any honesty? And here's an example. Kim Kardashian starts Instagram Live and shouts out, "Soul glow." And of course we have the song going, and then you got the guy spraying his hair and everything. Cut to commercial.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow.
Now let's imagine soul glow is a thing. And of course it's quoting "your love is so silky smooth," etc., etc. People start actually using it, and wha-bam, Jerry curls are back. Now, with Kim Kardashian having a very high influence as far as the amount of followers, people who actually look at pictures of her, let's just imagine just for a brief moment, Kim Kardashian also has a Jerry curl. So people go out, they rush to their local Mid-K or beauty supply or whatever it is that you have in your area, and they start purchasing Jerry curl juice or whatever else kind of product there is in order to get their hair to relax. Is she responsible for recommending this to her fans, and then her fans go out and consider it to be the standard? Well, she actually says she achieved her body from just working out.
Bullshit.
So just by saying, yes, I just worked out every day, I watched what I ate, is she responsible for people who want to get plastic surgery because they feel that she's had plastic surgery? So here comes her question. Do popular people owe you anything? Yes or no? Yes or no? And our next question would be, would you consider anything that was recommended to you by someone that you did follow? Let's say it's someone that you liked, they have considerable following, whether it's a couple 100,000 or maybe 2 million, 3 million. Go check out this NFT, check out this clothing line. They could be an athlete. If you see them wearing or using a product, does that motivate you to also use that product? And as we continue down this rabbit hole, let's keep this in mind.
You know, whenever you're exposed to advertising in this country, you realize all over again that America's leading industry, the manufacture, distribution, packaging, and marketing of bullshit.
As far as Kim Kardashian as being a public figure, she's well known for not only her hourglass body, but also the types of clothing that she presents herself in. There's usually a very large assortment of different clothes. Take, for example, if you want to call it her costume for the Met Gala that took place last year, where she was entirely covered from head to toe, a curtain hanging off of every thigh. As again, in general, I don't necessarily consider this a flawless piece, and it seems exceptionally dangerous having 2.5 trains drag behind you while wearing heels within a nylon sock, even without her face being recognized. I'm sure she could walk down the street wearing this and she would definitely turn a few heads. The same silhouette that, according to Vogue, was the end goal for 30% of women who visited one plastic surgeon's office in Beverly Hills. With a statistic like that, the Kardashian influence on beauty is indisputable, for better or for worse. And while that's a very huge stat that BuzzFeed is actually claiming 30% really, all things considered. While it seems like a lot when we're dealing with high numbers, if we're also considering the amount of plastic surgery that people request on a regular basis, and again, this is Beverly Hills, I'm not speculating for or against, but if during a year for the amount or level of cosmetic surgery that some women are interested in for the full body redone of cosmetic surgery, we're not simply talking about a nose job or, some minor tummy tucks or love handles. They wanted the full shebang.
Ooh, damn, I'm fine. Let up, shine, ooh, hammer time. I was born to flex, diamonds on my neck. I like boarding jets, I like more than sex, but nothing in this world.
30% of women. I think that can be a little bit misleading. I would honestly rather know the number than know the percentage. I think they were trying to sell that key point just for the news article. And this is actually a very nice photo of her right here, to be honest. I don't really look at a lot of pictures with any of the Kardashians. With their booming cultural and immense social media presence, Kim and her sisters have played a huge role in the glorification and normalization of everyday, airbrushed perfection, which they attribute only to their daily workouts. Only to their daily workouts. That's very interesting.
This is a big old frozen chunk of poopy.
Now, as we continue down this rabbit hole of discussion, there are certain news articles, some older than others, that I do want to bring up in relation to the average person trying to take matters into their own hands. And this is something that I actually bring up from the earlier statement. For individuals that do want full body modifications, the average person cannot afford to do a full body modification. That can quickly end up being more than 40 to 60 grand. And again, when we're saying the average person doesn't really have 40 or 60 grand just to kind of throw around. But one thing that I'm a firm believer of is you will always spend your money on the things that matter most. And I'll say that once more. You will always spend your money on the things that matter most. Whether it's those new set of Jordans, maybe you're a food buff, maybe you're a person that enjoys smoking or drinking, or maybe it's all about things that go fast. I think when it comes down to where we spend our money, we're definitely highly focused. And again, I think each of us has something that we waste our money on. And again, I think waste is kind of a harsh thing to say when having a discussion like this. I think it's important to say, if you have a hobby or if you have something that you're really devoted towards, I think it's especially important to note that you always spend your money in the things that you're deeply interested in. So we're going to bring up these two topics here. Our first topic is in regards to the Russian Popeye. And again, I do not recommend that anyone try to do this at home. I'm not a medical expert, so there's my disclaimer. Please consult with a professional medical expert before you attempt to do anything for your own personal safety. However, these particular articles that I'm bringing up, the first one being the Russian Popeye, and showing a picture right here. We have the Russian Popeye. In the original picture, I believe he was 19 years old. In this picture that I'm showing right now, he's 23 years old. This unfortunate soul thought it was a good idea to inject his biceps with cooking oil. And the problem with that is the average person doesn't know what type of oil when you're doing a lip job or the type of gel. So they think to themselves, well, I can do the cheaper shortcut. Plus, you can eat or drink cooking oil, so it must be okay.
Wrong.
The problem with this is when you inject cooking oil into your body, absorbed into the veins, and it will clog it up. It locks up your muscles, and because all the blood can't go anywhere, that's where it gets concentrated and it causes it to swell. If we take a look at this next picture here, Popeye, when he's getting his arms drained, again, he's still flexing his arm because he's an idiot, and he had 250,000 followers on Instagram, either roughly about the time or prior when he started injecting himself. I'm only 24 and my immune system is so far coping with this inflammation, but I really do not know what will happen next, he said. This is why I started the surgeries to get rid of this nightmare. Tubes drained a buildup of fluid from Tereshin's arms after doctors removed masses of dead muscle that had been poisoned by his bootleg bulking method. He will face further operations to extract the substance in the dead muscle that formed during his quest to achieve beach ball-like biceps. Kirill injected about 3 liters of cooking oil into each arm. The former soldier gained his nickname Popeye after he went down a dangerous DIY route to bulk up his triceps and biceps. See, the problem with this is everybody wants the results, but no one wants to do the work. And again, let me rephrase that. Just because you can save yourself time doesn't mean that there's not a risk involved. This Russian Popeye, after looking through and kind of tracking this story back, this is actually not the first time that he's injected something into his arms. In the beginning, I wanted to inject synthol oil into other parts of my body. And at that time, in 2019, he injected his arms with petroleum jelly. Again, this guy isn't overly bright. I would not recommend that you inject anything into your arms. And here is another picture of this guy looking like a Chad. Oh my goodness, I think the second picture, he probably looks more like a Chad than the first picture, just because if you're a Chad and your arms are that big, I would not imagine you to have braces. I'm glad he's taking care of his hygiene health, but in between the combination of him smiling like that as his dead arms lazily hang off of his body. This second part of the story in regards to people trying to do home body mod, again, please do not attempt to try this at home. Consult your medical professional. I'm only going to show the before picture of this, and let me explain why. This next one did not work out so well. In this particular picture, former model Hong Mioku, pictured right here, she's actually a very attractive Korean model. Very nice smile, looks very skinny. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say she's slightly above average. Anywho, this model wanted to increase the size of her lips by injecting vegetable oil into her face. Again, this particular story does not say how much cooking oil she injected into her face, but the results of after injecting it is straight some nightmare fuel. I'm not going to show the picture on my channel. I will leave her name down in the description if you dare. The aftermath of her face looks like melted cookie dough, and it has considerably aged her face. In this picture, I would guess she was probably in between 18 to 24 after she injected the vegetable oil into her face. She looks like a 90-year-old obese woman in the face. This individual model, after injecting herself, has permanently disfigured herself. So again, if you do decide to look her up, major warning, face looks like melted cookie dough. Attempt to try to do any home body mods. Worst case scenario, now you've permanently disfigured your body. You're in the hospital. Now you have to pay for your hospital bills. If you would have just paid for the surgery itself, you could have saved yourself some money and time. Please think your decision's over. Let's go full circle with this. For people like Kim Kardashian that have a large influence or a large following of people, are they responsible for fans? And I'm not saying that either one of these two were Kim Kardashian's fan, but when you go to say, oh, I never did this, and then now either the fans don't believe you and they think that you did, and then of course they don't have the money, they end up doing this, they end up getting infection or ends up being botched. Let me know what you think. As far as Kim goes and her fans, especially with the backlash of her fans just wanting to know, just be 100% honest on the choices that you're making. If they are true fans, they will still continue to follow you. And if they're not fans, at least you let them know. That way they at least have more accurate information. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed today's stream, leave a like. I appreciate all my new subscribers, and as well as those that have continued to follow me. And remember, you're always welcome here, but we sure as hell aren't for everyone.